If you're planning on taking the CFP Board's free practice exam, and you should be, you are probably about to make the same mistake that tanks most candidates. Here's what happens. You sit down to take the exam, and you're faced with a choice that most people don't even realize they're making. Should you use this as a learning tool, or should you try to simulate the real exam experience? See, the board's official practice exam has this weird quirk. You can only see if you've got a question right or wrong while you were working in that particular section. The test has 4 sections, and once you finish one, there is no going back, not even at the very end. That's right. After you are done taking the practice exam, you cannot go back and review which questions you got right and which you got wrong. Now, why do they do this? I have no idea. But this feature, or bug, of the practice exam, plus its timed nature, creates a real dilemma. Do you use the exam to try to learn from your mistakes, or do you use it to simulate the full exam experience? Most candidates try to do both, and they end up doing neither. They take the exam and they flip between answering and reviewing questions. That breaks their concentration, messes up their timing, and then they walk away having neither had a good learning experience or a realistic snapshot of their performance. But there's a better way. Instead of trying to make one exam do everything, split your practice exam strategy into 2 distinct phases. Phase 1, learning mode. 3 to 4 weeks before your exam, take the mock exam from your test prep provider. Your goal, identify weak areas and knowledge gaps. Phase 2, simulation mode. 1 to 2 weeks before your exam, take the board's official practice exam. Simulate the exact exam day conditions to understand how you're going to perform under pressure and fatigue. 2 different exams, 2 different time frames, 2 completely different approaches. And here's why this works so much better than what most candidates are doing. First, you are playing to each exam's strengths. Your test prep provider's mock, whether that's Kaplan, Dalton, Zahn, whoever it might be, they're designed for learning. You can pause them, you can review questions, you can take breaks. They are not perfect replicas of the real exam. And that's okay, because what they need to do is be good diagnostics. Now, the CFP Board's mock exam, on the other hand, it's the authentic simulation. The same software, same question format, same restrictions, but those restrictions, like we talked about, well, it makes it terrible for learning. The second thing is that timing is important. 3 to 4 weeks out, you still have time to act on what you learn. You can identify weak areas and actually do something about them. At 1 to 2 weeks out, I'm sorry, but you're not going to be learning new concepts. You're building confidence and mental stamina. And third, you are optimizing your limited resources. Sure, you could purchase an additional practice exam from the board for $250, but that's not always in everyone's budget. With this approach, you are making the most of the resources you already have. So let's start with phase 1, your test prep provider's mock exam in learning mode. Again, this should happen 3 to 4 weeks before your exam date, and your singular focus is extracting maximum learning from every question. Here's exactly how to approach it. Now, before you start, set up a tracking sheet. Number it 1 through 100 or however many questions there are. Have columns to note your confidence level. We'll talk about that in a second. The question topic, and if you got the question wrong, why you got it wrong. Now, step 1 is to take the exam. Take your time. If it takes 5 minutes to solve a question, no worries. But don't cheat. So no notes and no Google. You want to assess what's actually in your brain. So once you've selected your answer, you're going to mark your confidence level on the tracking sheet. Were you confident in your answer, torn maybe between 2 choices, or completely unsure? Step 2, after you finish the exam, is to review all of your answers. Go through your tracking sheet and mark down which questions you got right, which you got wrong. Now calculate how many right answers you confidently got, how many you were torn on, and how many you blindly guessed on. This is going to give you a sense of how much luck played a role in your score. Step 3 is that for every question you got wrong, identify why you got it wrong. Did you not know the content? Did you misread the question? Maybe you made a calculation error. Be very specific. And in step 4, you're going to identify the specific topic for each question. Now, hopefully your test prep provider already does this for you, but you're looking not just for a broad domain like investments, but you're looking for the subtopic like mutual funds or bonds. Now, ideally, you do this for every single question, but if you are doing it manually, just focus on the wrong questions. Step 5 is to look for patterns. This is where the magic happens. Are you consistently missing time value of money calculations? Are you confusing begin and end mode? Are you misreading insurance questions? Are there extra details inside of case studies that are throwing you off? Build your study plan around these patterns. Spend several days on each of your weak areas. Sure, you hate estate planning and would much rather spend time polishing up your investments grade, but that's not the best bang for your buck. Improving your weakest section is where you're going to get the biggest score jumps. Now, before we talk about phase 2, do me a favor and hit the like button. These videos are a real labor of love, and well, it's not like a CFP exam video is ever going to go viral. So if you've got a coworker or friend thinking about taking the exam next cycle, share this video with them. All right, so if phase 1 was like a table reading of a play, phase 2 is the full dress rehearsal. Costumes, staging, no interruptions, exactly like the real performance. A week or 2 before your exam date, take the free CFP Board practice exam. Your goal is no longer about learning. It's about psychological preparation and final validation. Now, here's how this approach is going to be completely different than phase 1. Set yourself up like exam day. Wake up at the same time you would wake up exam day. Eat the same breakfast, wear similar clothes. Take the test in a quiet, ideally sterile environment. Maybe you drive to the office, especially if you need to remove yourself from littles at home. And during the actual exam, you are not going to be able to eat except during the 40-minute break in the middle. Only water and bathroom breaks if you have to, but the timer keeps running. Now, this may seem excessive, but you're going to want to know how you perform under realistic conditions. Do not underestimate the physical aspect of this exam. Now, for timers, heads up, you want to know that the board exam has a 24-hour access window that starts when you hit the Get Practice test. So don't click that until you're ready. But that really shouldn't be an issue because, again, you're trying to simulate the real exam experience. So the key timer to keep your eye on is the exam timer. You've got 2 3-hour blocks with a 40-minute break in the middle. Now, here's a critical thing. Turn answer feedback off. Yes, so the practice exam lets you see answers during each section, but you are not going to look. I know. You're going to get real questions with real answers, and you're not going to see if you got them right or wrong. But hear me out. As tempting as it may be to do a similar kind of confidence level topic tracker, that's not realistic. You have a little over 2 minutes per question, and while not all questions require the full 2 minutes, you're going to need all the time you can get. Stopping to review questions takes away from that time. You're better off using any extra time at the end to review questions you're on the bubble on, just like you would in the real exam. And more importantly, reviewing questions can really mess you up psychologically. It breaks your flow, and if you do end up with a streak of wrong answers, it can suck you into a spiral of doom. Don't do it. Again, this exam isn't just about your score, it's about building tolerance for discomfort and uncertainty. On exam day, you're gonna have no idea how you're performing in real time. And this practice exam teaches you to be comfortable with that feeling and to keep pushing forward. Post-exam, after you finish, the exam will give you a printout like this. It'll let you know a score for each of the knowledge domains. Now, the rule of thumb is generally you want to get 70% to pass. However, the free practice exam is known to be easier than the real deal, so aim more for like 75%. Again, more than just the score, take time to reflect on your performance. Did you find yourself too tired or brain foggy before or after lunch? How much time did the case study take? Were you rushing at the end of specific sections? How you perform under stress has as much impact on whether you pass or fail as the knowledge in your brain. Your goal here is to be able to perform at your personal best. Now, a quick note about additional practice exams. Like I mentioned, the CFP Board sells extra exams for $250. That's quite a bit of extra money when you think about you're already several thousands of dollars in for test prep. And for some folks, paying the extra can make sense. So if your prep package doesn't include a mock like Kaplan's Essentials, you can purchase, and I suggest you purchase a mock exam. Now, Kaplan sells theirs for $70, and you could purchase the board's extra, but that's a bit overkill for phase 1 diagnostic purposes, so go ahead and just get Kaplan's. If you're an anxious test taker, you might want an extra simulation practice just to get more comfortable. If that's you, an additional board exam can help with psychological preparation. Just be careful about fatigue though. Don't take the extra mock the day before the real exam. Give yourself 3 to 4 days to rest. For most people though, 2 mock exams is all you need. Additional exams won't meaningfully improve your test scores. You're better off using the 7 hours you would have used to take the exam to work through specific practice questions rather than putting yourself through another simulation. With 1 to 2 weeks left before the real exam, there's still room to improve your knowledge on the edges, so don't let off the gas with flashcards and Q banks. But the real leverage at this point is improving your test-taking skills. For that, check out this video on how to manage time and not fall for traps on the exam. And if you're curious or nervous about exam day, check out my video where I walk you through what happens at the test center, from calculator checks to what to eat for lunch and when you get your official results. Hint, it's not on the day of. Good luck in these last few weeks, and I will see you in the next video.